Hello and good evening for this Thursday, April 6th, 2023. I'm Dave Mader and joined with me, Davan Skelhorn here on Live Long and Podcast. How you doing tonight, Davan?
Pretty good episode. I'm loving this season.
Yes, we are here to
Continues.
talk about season 3 of Star Trek Picard, season 3, episode 8, Surrender. We're here to review this episode, spoil the hell out of it. So if you haven't seen the episode, of course, get out of here. But we will be getting going here, and we're going to talk about our thoughts about this episode. Davin, did you like this episode?
I did like this episode, especially one thing that happens, but I won't talk about that because that'd be a big spoiler.
The surrender of it all.
When we get there, I'll talk about how it was a good thing.
It was like there was a lot of
good acting,
ups and downs in this episode. There's a lot, I think, to unpack here. This episode was longer than most. It was actually well over an hour.
Was it?
I think I just want to see what the total runtime was. Sorry, 52 minutes, which is a little bit longer than most hour shows. Like normally, like they were 40 something minutes because normally they would go with commercials. I guess maybe it wasn't as long as I thought it was. But
no, most of these series have been about that of this season. They've been pretty long.
Yeah, well, it felt long. This one felt longer for sure. There was a lot of data in this episode. It
felt longer because of all the friggin' Vadic monologuing. Like
there was a lot of Vadic monologuing. She's a monologuing protoplasm, as
she
described.
Certainly is.
Yeah, there was a lot going on in this episode. Troy and Riker were having some issues and working them out, over torture and post-torture trauma. Let's walk through the episode here, Davan. As we got the previously on, we know that Riker had been captured and they had Troy and they were going to use him against him. And we found out that he had given up the prefix code, which is talked about in this episode in the dialogue. We had also seen that Riker was impersonated by this changeling, and he was like, "He's as good as dead. I'm as good as dead. I'm a zombie Riker now." So that was all set up. We also saw here that we were reminded about the whole inner battle here between Lore and Data within the body of this new android body that's a lot older. Explain the partition between the two sides that will come to be very much a prominent part of this episode. We were reminded about the changelings, these mutant changelings variants that have more organic skin and organs and things like that. And that we remember that the Shrike had taken over. Oh yeah, and don't forget, we're still trying to figure out who this guy is. I still think Pa Wraith,
the person behind the red door,
Pa Wraith or Gul Dukat or both. This is what I think we're seeing here in this in this, like, whatever Vadic was working for. Vadic dies in this episode, so without really ever resolved like this whole thing with who her boss was. But if you look at it, it's got fire.
Okay, well, since you spoiled that Vadic death thing, man, I was so sick of Vadic in this episode. I was just like, I'm so done because Vadic just talks and talks and never says anything, and it just feels like filler.
Well, yeah, I think
and then they kill her, and I was like, yes.
Jack says that in the episode. Jack says, like, you are batshit circles or something like that. Crazy.
Yeah, he's just like, are you done talking circles and you gonna say something or what? Like,
how do you like my Pa Wraith theory for what's going on with Jack?
I don't know, man. I mean, it's probably Pa Wraith, but
what else could it be?
There's no, but why? There's no Bajorans here.
I know. Well, there's one Bajoran guy, but he doesn't seem important. They almost killed him.
There's no one for this to connect to.
What else? What else turns your eyes red and makes you able to see into this? Oh, look who's joining us.
Oh, Murphy's here to give us a 4.
4? No. I changed that score to a 6, and if anything, this episode raised it to a 7. So.
Oh, so now so he's retroactively walking it. He's going all the way up to 7. He was down to a 4. He's up to a 7. So I think that's progress.
Vadic's dead.
Vadic's dead, but before she died, she was already dying there, Davan, because she was smoking her cigars. Why this changeling smokes, I will never truly understand this choice. But
What this
In the
changeling
Reapers,
smokes is the
she
real
was
question.
she was smoking those tweeds.
But there was some artistic choices here from the director and how they shot this episode, with the like the pulling back here on the reflection up on the Titans bridge here to see Vatic smoking. We were reminded that Jordy's down here with the data lore, having to disconnect him from the physical cable, that was so that lore can't be doing bad things again and getting them in trouble. We see here that the crew of the Titan is under siege from these evil changelings, these muted changelings, who Vatic is, narrating over the comm, as she torments them as well. There's a lot of trauma going on here. All for Jack Crusher. Never forget. And that
He's
We'll build statues of this young man one day.
One day, he's the guy. Sam was going. He's going an 8 on this episode. He was liking this episode, and happy first contact.
We were rating the episode at the beginning of the show. Now, come on, fellas.
No, Sam just said he liked it. I felt like I wanted to acknowledge that. We see here, it's a lot of Vatic monologuing. Chris, how did you feel about that in the episode?
Oh, I was half tuned out. I was half tuned out of this first quarter of this episode because of the Vatic monologuing. It was just too I'm glad the character's over. I'll leave it at that. She was quirky, she was fun. She dragged on a bit too long at some points, but
just never said anything.
They were trying to give this Titan, bridge crew more screen time in the episode, and they were really selling the trauma here.
It was effective, I thought.
She did
a really good job.
I was still with Vatic. I feel like Vatic was complete. She's like, this is my finale. I'm going out here, and this is, I'm going to sell everything I can here. And we see a lot.
Okay, so here's my issue with the whole Vatic arc: is it's been seemingly cut off before there was really any revelation or payoff as to why Vatic was doing the bidding of the people she was doing specifically, right? What did they have over her?
Oh, we'll get that.
But it's before Vatic. But Vatic dies before any of that happens. It was just I agree. It's kind of an odd choice. Because basically we have a 2-hour movie left. More or less. In the final 2 episodes, and the villain of this story of this whole season is out. But she wasn't the main bad. She was the secondary bad.
Exactly. She's the secondary bad. It was a bit of a bait and switch.
Right.
I get the whole sub-boss pot, but
she was pretty bad. Look, we saw here these horror images through Jack's psychic paw wraith potentially eyes, where he sees this one. She's been stabbed in the neck. We see this one. She wasn't even dead, but she was just scared on the floor.
This part of the story bugged me because I was like, what does this remind me of? There was I feel like this sort of trope of taking over other people's bodies has been done from something before, but I couldn't place my finger on it at the time.
Every X-Men comic ever.
Yeah, that's it. Fuck.
This
so
whole
he's
part,
the son of Charles Xavier. Okay, I can buy this then.
Right.
Exactly. He's the son of Charles Xavier. Quit your criticism.
And Picard.
He's Legion.
Vatic was doing a lot of just I'm going to kill you. I want Jack Crusher. Why doesn't she just go get Jack Crusher? He's just down a few decks. I don't understand. It's not really made clear what's.
She doesn't want to give up the bridge.
She doesn't want to give up the bridge, and she's not entirely certain where he is exactly, right? So it's
right. So Jack's wants to go. Yeah, that's all that all happens before we even get the title card for the episode. Titled Part 8 Surrender, of course. And we get the whole thing here with the Shrike and their brig, I guess. We get to catch up here with Riker and Troy in this whole scene where she talks about how he got punched a lot here. I like this scene a lot too.
Man,
I thought that they
mended all their fences.
Yeah, they talked about some real kind of things. I think they worked through them, and I was like, okay, fine. Like this is all just fine, and I'm happy with it. And like,
Good in
you know,
bed,
but-
bad at pizza.
But
Right.
what a crazy plot point they added for Deanna. So she was actually numbing his pain against his will,
but he didn't like it.
and he
Getting
didn't
in her,
like
in
it.
her head. She was using her Betazoid ways,
Yeah, man.
her and get he trying to erase according to him, which she says no. It was
Yeah.
more like share the burden, and I don't know. I
Carrying
think
the burden. Yeah.
I guess he accepted that, but
Yeah.
this, the extent
They're
of
not
Deanna's
making the
powers.
female characters look the best in this series. That's the one like complaint I have this season. I'm not.
Well,
I
they're
don't know
giving
how
Raffi a
very
lot
much-
to do, but
I mean, I
um,
don't know.
True.
I kind of got their whole dichotomy with the whole like he wanted to deal with grief, but she is the Betazoid counselor that has spent the majority of her life and career helping people. So she thought the best way to help her husband was by forcing her ways into his head and easing the pain, so to speak. But he just didn't really.
and
Didn't say
knowing
the
that
word.
like his daughter needed, is also in the mix and needs him too, right?
Yeah, so
Well,
to-
she was
so
also
he acknowledged that grief.
doing a somewhat selfish act as well because she's easing her own pain. She says like, I feel everybody's pain by numbing his pain. Like that's kind of like feeling less pain overall.
Right. It's almost medication to her as well,
Yeah.
in a sense. Yeah. She says something here in the episode with "You can't skip."
You can't skip to the end of healing.
Beautiful line. Like it was such a perfect like Deanna line. Like it was so.
Yeah.
It's so good.
They find out that they don't want to live on Nepenthe, guys. It's a house
Yeah,
designed by
it's hilarious.
hipsters or something like that. Well, I have the clip.
That house, it's like it was designed by a cabal of retro prairie hipsters.
Yeah.
these
The
guys,
foyer
Hermans?
is judgmental or something.
Yeah, the foyer was
Yeah,
judgmental.
because it
and then
creeps.
there's a
It like
screeching
groans at him
birds.
every time he walks in. It's like, that guy.
Yeah, this
That was
episode
pretty funny.
written by Matt Okamura and I think he's got some interesting dialogue and choices in the episode, which I'm digging.
I like it. Yeah.
And then I think they talk some more. Yeah, this is not where they get out. There's still like a clip away from here. We come back to with Vatic on the bridge, and we see here with Shaw in 7 of 9, where he calls her Hanson again, even though they've been through all this, and she's always pissed off about it. She's like, I'm 7 of 9. Stop calling me.
They
Like
called him on it. Yeah.
yeah, and she
Commander 7.
but they're also in kind of a tough situation here, and what are they going to do
Yeah.
about it? Their hostage situation here. Always wanting Jack. There's always, I don't know, this
Shaw again though continues to kind of suck at it as being captain.
He's
right
not
for the
like that
role.
type of a
He's not right.
guy. He's not like the
I
hero
disagree.
captain.
I disagree. I thought his lines in
No.
the show were spot on for him because he's very like.
I love the
prophetic in
character.
Yeah.
He shouldn't be a captain. He's not right for that role.
Why?
In Starfleet?
In what sense? He
Because
he
in that
knew very
scene,
well.
in all the scenes on that bridge, Seven's the captain. Agreed, Dave?
Yeah, 7's the more of like the respected leader on that bridge. Like
And
definitely
the one
has the
doing all the
confidence of
captain
crew.
things.
Yeah.
Like
But
when
she's
someone's about
also-
to kill someone on your crew, you
Sometimes the
protest.
captain
He
can
doesn't.
be a
He
bit
just sits
more
back.
of a
And he's just
department.
like-
Yeah, so did Picard and Riker.
Picard,
No.
like this,
If you
in
tried
some
to kill one
ways-
of Picard's crew on his bridge, he would be hollering at you. So would Janeway. So would Cisco. So would Kirk. They'd be trying to fight you because they're the captain. They'd be the one to say, "No, kill me." 7 said that, not the captain. 7 was the captain in that scene, 100%. I'll debate it on Debate 9.
All right.
He'll bring it. Yeah, Shaw, he's just not like that type of. He's not a heroic captain, but he's
not. He's not the
He's not a
captain,
captain.
we've all. No, that's not true. To say he's not
He
a
is the
captain, he's like,
captain.
Not a captain.
oh my god, he's
Not a
like any
captain.
other captain, Davan. He fucking.
He's not.
He's not like any other captain, but
No.
I think he's a captain, and I think he's a different style.
He's- He's the weakest captain we've ever seen.
Guys, can we talk more about the Jack Crusher stuff?
No, Jack's boring.
You're not liking the
I
storyline?
have to agree. No, I'm over the whole like Superman Jack arc.
He can take
Yeah, me
over
too.
people and input Picard's
it's the
codes.
most insane little like story arc because of a disease that is supposed to kill somebody because of a disease that makes you overthink. Like it's got to be more than that, and until they reveal what it actually is, which is apparently some sort of interdimensional parasite or something, I like.
No, it's like the genetic tampering that's been done to him.
Yeah, I think he's got a Pa Wraith in him, guys.
Yo, it's Ducat. It's a seed of Ducat.
It's Ducat. He's like the new Zial. He's got
I think if this whole thing just ends with fucking Picard back in the room and he's like, "It's 4 lights," like this, how the whole show ends, just Picard's back in the torture room. Slow clap for me.
Is that where you
Me
think
too.
this is going? That I think I would be
Me
incredibly
too.
confused.
He's just there with Madred. He's there sitting with Gul Madred.
Gold Madred? Is
Everything's
that where
gonna-
this is headed? You know,
Wouldn't
'cause
that
yeah,
be
yeah,
a wild
he has
twist?
he has no history with Gul Dukat himself.
Exactly. Like, or the Pa Wraith, and there's no Bajorans here. I don't really want it
Except
you
this
to be
guy.
right here, Dave. I know, except for that guy, and they do keep showing him.
They
So
give
there
him
could be
a
something
lot in this
there.
episode. Yeah, but Jack was trying to mind control him, but then Vadic was like, "Hello, I know you can do that." So Vadic at least knows. Who
Wait,
else?
okay, and like, how does she just like sniff that out of nowhere? Like, what?
She's a great detective. This Vadic. Too bad she blows up
She's
into
a changeling. They're natural detectives.
I guess so. They're the greatest lawmen
They have
in the entire
spider
damn
senses too,
quadrant.
apparently.
The whole damn sector.
The whole damn sector, the whole damn different space. I definitely have to go that. Where's that? You're the best lawman. Whole damn sector.
Whole damn quadrant. Yeah, the quadrant. Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, well.
Ah well.
But yeah, I'm done with her haircut. I'm done with Vadic. Like,
Yeah. Well, she
was a good performance, but the way it was written, it was just.
it kind of
a lot of filler.
outstayed its welcome, you know. Okay, and then she starts terrorizing the crew, and 7 of 9 wants to get involved, and Shaw says, "No, you can't stop this. You can't try to. They'll just kill you. You know, you'll end up."
He's the first officer. He's trying to talk the captain into doing a thing.
He's trying to protect the rest of his crew before she goes off and aces them all.
So is
What
she,
you
but
trying
like
to
a
do?
captain.
More like a
what the hell's
captain.
she gonna do that's any
She's more like a
different?
hero. You mean like a hero? I think. You know. I think.
No, like a captain, like the one trying to step in front of the gun. He's trying to fade into the background.
Take me,
He's
don't
just like,
take it
"Don't
on
look
my
at me."
crew. You know, like that's how we
He's-
would see. Like that's what Kirk and Picard and Cisco and Janeway
The
and
Starfleet
Archer,
captain does.
you know, you're right. Like that's what we're used to seeing the hero captain do. But I could see a Starfleet captain that doesn't do that so much, you know, in the fleet. I think there's a
Shouldn't
big
be
fleet.
captain.
There's a lot of captains. Not all of
There's
them
a
are
lot of
great.
Jellicoe-
captains. We've seen
Jellicoe
a lot of
would have been
different
all-
captains.
Throwing
Jellicoe,
punches.
you got your Jellicos. You got your.
He's great. Jellicoe's a hero.
Well, Jellicoe's a
Yeah,
different
but the-
style.
You get your Commander Eddingtons.
Yeah, we get the Eddingtons here. Yeah, well, like I don't know, Vadic was terrorizing this Bajoran guy, and then there was this tactical woman where she gets the gun to her head, but then she turns it, guys, onto the Vulcan
Ooh.
lady. We barely knew ye.
They
and-
kind of foreshadowed that because then they show her quite a bit last episode for like no reason. And
yeah, I
gave her a
guess-
few lines.
You saw this coming?
No, but once they shot her, I'm like, oh, that's why they showed her so much last episode, because like they sort of just sprinkle in these side characters when they need them to do something dramatic, like die.
Yeah, Taveen. This is who she was. She gets,
I'm disappointed they killed Davan. I was hoping for like a
Taveen
new
spin-off.
Vulcan character they could build off of, especially adding it into the spin-off show. It's like such a unique sort of interesting Vulcan, and they're just like, no, they just fried her.
fried her,
like-
and it was supposed to be the other one. Would you have rather have been the other lady?
And okay, no, you know what? Who I would rather have been? Do you have the screenshot of them all lined up?
Yeah. How far back I have to go?
Yeah, right about there. Okay, no, that one's fine with the lineup. Basically, the guy that's standing to the left of the Bajorn, that guy would have been fine.
But we don't even know him.
Yeah, but it still gets across the point that she's willing to kill people.
They
Yeah,
made
they
a
were going
decision.
for a little more drama.
They
That's
made
why
a
they
decision.
chose
They're
to
like,
leave
we have
last
to kill
episode.
somebody they know, and
Yeah.
we have to. And they wanted this misdirect where you think it's gonna be so and so, and then they kill off Davan instead. You know, where she wasn't even pointing the gun at her, and then she said she was gonna keep killing more of them. But
I feel like they should have. I feel like they should have went, big balls of steel and just dropped 7 of 9 right there. I would have been heartbroken and devastated.
Damn you, Murphy! Get out of here.
yeah, if they killed 7 and 9 there would have been a riot. Like
There would have
would've
been. It would have
rioted.
been a wild riot.
Yeah, the internet would have went mad.
But imagine the RP.
Guys, we're finally back to the scene here with Riker and Troy, where they kind of reconcile all of their issues and come to their love is together here. Their Imzadi.
That was funny. She's like, I really should have taught you another word because he
Yeah.
just says that. So
Yeah,
often.
you just can you like one word you say to me, and she's like some big
Imzadi.
baby. Then the changeling guy shows
Yeah.
up to at the guard to terrorize them, and he'll get into a fight here, and then he pushes the changeling. Riker does
like a captain.
yeah, like a
Deus
captain
Ex
would.
Warfia.
Yeah, and then Worf comes out here, guys.
Give him a show. Where's the Worf spin-off show? He's
I want
so
Worf's
good.
spin-off show. Worf
He's
is amazing.
so good. He's
Worf
so
is
good. He's the
always-
best one in this series by far.
Yeah, he's always
By, like,
getting it out
leaps and
here.
bounds.
He gets a big hug here from Troy. I that was the very first clip I pulled from this episode here.
Oh, what Worf says?
One's
here?
personal space is a right.
Yeah. Where
The other, you don't have the other part.
Oh, I
Deanna.
Deanna,
I have been
I have counted the days since I last saw you. Like waves in the ocean, constant and unending. I have thought of your empathic gifts often during my self-evaluation.
Well, that's wonderful.
Inappropriate. The work that I've done on myself, the
Appropriate.
level of sensitivity that I have achieved, has been in more ways than one.
Is this a rescue mission or a continuation of the torture?
This is a
Big
good
laugh
scene.
from
I
me.
like
Great
this
scene.
dialogue.
Best
kind of
scene
har-
in the whole episode.
Harking back to the old romance there between Worf and Troy near the end of season 7. That didn't really last, but it was, there was some tension there in the all good things alternate future that they've kind of still realized through here, even though Troy was dead in that timeline. And here she's, still alive, which is great.
What's funny about this Worf portrayal is he sort of regressed back to like TNG Worf again, where he's just like super serious, and it's kind of hilarious that he's being so serious all the time. Whereas in
Right.
DS9 he was like a little more chill.
Yeah, he was a little more self-aware. He had learned a sense of
Yeah.
humor more so. But here he's kind of regressed. He's like I'm grumpy old man Worf now. Like, but I'm Zen too.
Yeah.
Deanna, I've been working on all of your Betazoid meditation things. It's amazing. I'm so sensitive now. I've conquered
Yeah.
sensitivity.
He even says that I'm so sensitive
I'm so sensitive now.
now.
Some good stuff.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
and then we get here to the stuff with data lore, like where Geordi's kind of setting it up. That there's the partitions taking over, and then they come in here with he unites with Picard and Crusher and Jack and Sydney. How do I know you're not changelings? And he's like, you don't even know wine. Your taste.
Your taste in wine is pedestrian at best.
He's like, it's
And
him.
I agree with Picard there. The drier, the better. What are you talking about, Jordy? You
Yeah,
want
he's like, it's
water
too
in
dry
your
for
wine?
me. He's like, yeah, well, you don't get
Get out
wine.
of here.
Said your wine.
doesn't.
Said my Malbec was dry.
Yeah. So
It's
no,
a
a
Bordeaux.
changeling wouldn't know these kinds of things. They wouldn't be. They wouldn't know the wine stuff. So we set up here the whole thing more with the data lore stuff. That there's a war and lore is taking over data, and they don't know what to do with it. But they need data's help in order to maybe even try to take back the ship. really. Like without Data's help, there's not really a way to do it. So they have to plug Data back in, but there's lore in the mix here, and what are they gonna do?
Bring down the Berlin Wall.
Right, and we go
There's
here.
brain.
We get this quick cut here where we're now inside like Data's mind, and we see the confrontation here with lore, where the two
I liked all
halves.
this Data
This
lore
was
stuff.
this was maybe my favorite stuff in the episode as well.
It played out
cried at one
exactly how
point.
I expected it to, and it was perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with Lord tormenting Data, and Brent Spiner playing, of course, both roles with the exact same costume and everything, and but the two characters very distinct, and he slips right back into them, of course, with them having to interact here in
He always
way.
played lore so well.
Yeah, well, and you always know what lore is, and you always know what Data is, even though it's the same voice and it's the same everything else. And we see all like these memories of Data's are manifesting within like this dreamscape, like the Sherlock Holmes hat or the pipe here. These are like also represented to be like the memories of Data. This turns out to be
Trophies.
Data's like plan because he wants to turn lore into Data or something. And
Yeah, he
so,
wanted to give him
Well, do you
trophies.
guys remember Stratagema?
yes.
It's like that, where he realized he couldn't beat the dude at Stratagema,
So he just let
played
him
for a
win, but it
stalemate.
played for a
He
stalemate.
played for a stalemate, and that's what happens here. He's just like, "You're not gonna win. I'm not gonna win. We're just gonna fuse." He just did this. I think it was a slight nod to Stratagema, which I liked.
Right. Well, that's what Data learned that lesson, right? That's part of his experiences. So yeah, and he kind of
Because
fuses
he said
that
at one
up.
point, he's just like, "Well, it seems in my current circumstances, I can't win."
See, I looked at it more like Avatar: The Last Airbender.
No,
How
it's
so?
Stratagema, Murphy.
How so? Because it was lore was consuming all of Data up until the very last moment, much like in Avatar: The Last Airbender, up until that very last eyeball, and then Data kicks it all open, and then he takes over entirely and completely. That's exactly how I was expecting this to
Well,
go.
then yes, that sounds exactly
he-
like that.
Yeah, but he did it in such a way. It's like I'm giving him pieces of my trophy. I'm giving him the tricorder, the pipe. And then he
was
gives him
great.
fucking Spot. And when he pulled up Spot, I was just like,
And he's like, "This is the best of me." I
This
was
is the
like,
best
Oh
of
yeah,
me.
like
This
that was
taught
like
me
that was a
love.
great scene. Yeah. So they give us this great scene. They cut away, and we come back here to Raffi, who is on the shuttle here, I guess, working with Worf. And Raffi meets. I don't know if I guess she knew Riker, but she's meeting Troy for the first time. We see it here. It's Picard's body, guys, or as Worf says, his his former shell or whatever.
I like when Raffi meets Deanna there too. She's just like, "Deanna, Raffi." Deanna's just like, "Hell of a day."
Yeah.
You're like,
Like,
It's been a
hello.
weird week.
yeah, it's been a weird week. Yeah, that's it.
Nice to meet you too. Here, as we're looking over the dead JL, as Raffi
Yeah.
would say. Yeah, them here just kind of having a moment, scanning along the wall. Worf and Riker, working together. The prisoners have escaped. Vadic finds out. Then they're on the turbolift coming up, and then it's Jack Crusher. He's here at last. Vadic's happy to see him. And, what do you want, Jack Crusher? I got a bomb. I'm going to blow myself up, and then you won't have your prize. You think that will kill me? He goes, it doesn't matter. I know it will kill me. And we come back to the stuff here with Data and lore, the battle inside him. We get a little bit of exposition here, I guess, from LaForge and Picard on the outside. There's a battle going on. All they're doing is watching this. Like, they can't see this. But luckily, as the audience...
Staring at Data's face.
staring at this guy's face.
Looking at the
and
dots
looking at the
behind
colors
him.
behind him, like
Yeah.
seeing who's going to win, blue or red. It's like an election cycle. But here in the Mindscape, we get to, as the audience, enjoy all this as Laura keeps stealing more and more of Data's manifested memories here in the form of these different trinkets. Data seemingly like fading away, slowly becoming less and less of who he was, dissolving away, dying again. How many times have we had to see Data die? This is yet another time. And then Data's like, here, I want to give you the Tasha Yar memory. It's great. You need this. It's gonna, help you get over. And he's like, yeah, well, whatever. I don't care.
That was our Tasha nod right there. I guess she's not going to.
Is that all the Denise Crosby we're getting? Is the little hologram again?
Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have showed
they've
that.
pulled that out of
and
their
talked
pocket
about
like 8 times now.
I was
"Do
hoping
we
for
need to
more.
make a Tasha Yar reference. Just show Data hold the hollow cube.
Yeah. Like they're still staring at his face on the outside here, of course. And then Jack's threatening to blow himself up. He's trying to get answers from Vatic. Vatic, I was like, come on, Vatic, tell you know, we've been waiting for this moment, man. You're gonna give us the answers. You're gonna tell us what's going on with Jack Crusher. We've been waiting for 8 episodes, but do we get an answer?
No.
We do not.
No, she just talks and talks and talks and nothing gets said. I'm just like, oh my god.
Yeah, there's
She's
a
like, I can
look
help
here,
you
and then,
into the great beyond of
they
my
put
friendship.
They put
and
Shaw
help
and the
you
rest of the crew
learn about
into the observation lounge, but like you're right, 7-9, like a captain would, says, "No,
Like
I'm
a
not going
captain
in
would.
there." Shaw's like, "What are you
Captain
doing?"
7. Shaw's like, but what? We're doing what the lady said.
Yeah, and she's like, "Not me.
Like,
I'm
and the captain
7-9.
wouldn't.
I don't do that. A captain wouldn't. You know,
Yeah.
the captains are the biggest discipline problems. Really, I think it's what we really mean. The ones who just like don't follow reason. They had to be the heroes.
It's their ship. You don't.
Their
you
ship,
don't
you know.
come onto a captain's ship and start.
Well, maybe it should be 7 of
bossing
9
people
ship.
around.
Captain 7 of 9.
It should be 7 of 9 ship.
Yeah.
Captain
As
7 of 9.
Come on. And like I was like, come on, tell him what's going on, Jack. Vatic, come on. But there's nothing. Stares, looks, things like that. We see the door. She talks about, do you see the door? You know? 7 of 9's finding out about the door and the stuff and the vines. We also found out that the thing what they did with Picard's body is they had removed the Iromotic syndrome from Picard's body, old body. Why?
Like, why would they want that? It's like the worst part of them.
That's what I'm saying. Like they're like, we need this. Like, what kind of wacky brain disease is this that gives them superpowers? It just, none of it makes sense. And then Vada keeps talking.
Well,
like
Aromatic
she's a
syndrome
Dr.
doesn't
Seuss
give you
book.
superpowers.
Well, apparently it does, because that's what they keep trying to tell us.
It turns you into Jason Bourne, and then you can take over people's minds.
Yeah, like that's
No, like his Jack's thing was disguised as aromatic syndrome, but it wasn't aromatic syndrome.
It's not aromatic.
Okay, so if it's not aromatic syndrome,
whatever.
then why are they pulling out Jean-Luc Picard's brain pieces that have aromatic syndrome?
That's a whole nother plot point we're gonna get in the next couple episodes.
And you don't think both of them are connected in any way, shape, or form?
Well, they're clearly they also, I think, are trying to make a Picard clone or something. Like, they clearly wanted to plant someone else to do his speech. Like, isn't that what we learned?
Yeah, that's what they've alluded to,
really.
but or what
they've alluded
working
to that.
theory
Like,
on the show at least is. Here, guys, we're just back to here with this lore Data scene where he gives him the cards. He's like,
good stuff.
Well, Data says, "Why are you giving me these things?"
Why are you giving me these things? Because you have had nothing, while I have had everything.
I love that line.
Yeah. Come on, Data.
Well, I like
Data.
Data's line better one. Just like, you're right. You are nothing, and I am everything, basically.
And then the whole thing here with Spot, which was great.
This is Spot. This simple creature managed something quite miraculous. Something of which I did not know I was capable. In a way, he taught me to love. He is the best of me, the last of me. Yes.
Weeping.
Jane hasn't seen this yet. I gotta get her reaction when I get out of here. She will definitely connect with this.
A cat person as well.
Even Laura was kind of like, I don't hate this cat.
I like kitties.
You know?
Yeah, exactly.
He's like,
Hey, kitty.
so
I feel like he finally got to Laura's heart. You know, it was a cat thing, but then Data
yeah,
died.
that's what I'm saying, right? Like, this was the Avatar moment. This was like the final thing that was just like, ha, I got you now. Oh God, my heart. Oh, it's growing 3 sizes too big.
Right,
Like,
and on the outside, we see it goes all to red here as the last little bit of Data fades away, and Data and Jody reacts, and it seems like, oh no, Data's gone again. You know,
Lost
Beverly
him.
can't even look. You know,
For the 3rd time this series.
So, okay, here's what would have made this scene just slightly better. For the people on the outside standing there, Data's just speaking. He's not moving, but he's speaking the lines. He's speaking to Data. He's speaking Data and Lore. He's just trading off, and he's just standing there speaking. So they hear the
That
conversation
wouldn't have
going
made it
between.
better.
Why
That would have
not?
made it probably weird for us, you know.
Because you need the mystery of like when he comes back, they want who is it? Who are they talking to? And like it's more effective to see them see it all go red.
Yeah,
And
it
then
all
it
goes red
flashes
here,
back
and like
blue.
then Lore reacts,
Yeah.
and Lore's, "What have you done to me?" Data comes back.
This is genius writing, this whole thing, because if you take up the sum of their experiences, because Lore was frozen for so long and offline for so long and just floating through the nothingness of space for so long, like the sum of Data's experience so far outweigh Lore's that if Lore does accept all that, which Data says you would as trophies, then the final product would just be like magnitudes more Data, because he's just done so much more and he is so much more. It's genius. Just genius writing.
And he kind of absorbs Lore into himself, and there's kind of like the goodbye Lore again. Like how many times is this is almost
Lore was always very immature.
Goodbye, brother. We've done this goodbye, brother.
We've done this goodbye before. We'll see if we ever do this again. But yeah, see you later. You know, you're part of me now, just like I'm part of you, I suppose.
Yeah,
we are me.
But they come to the conclusion with, we see that the brain goes red with just a little bit of red, blue. I mean, with a little bit of red, and he has like a sneeze here, and he comes back, and then it's Data. The fiber optic cable is working, and he's back, and he's seeing Crusher and Picard and Jody, and things are right again.
I love this new Data though, because he's just Data with Lore's snarky sense of humor. So he's like the perfect android now.
Yeah. And they're like, "Hey, can you help us out?" He's like, "Oh, no worries. I got this under control." He brings the lights back on. Data is going to town here on the computer. Now that he's back on their side, they can get him to do all the Deus Ex Machina, literally. As he
Data Ex Machina.
Everything online. He said, we get the whole signal here where Data says,
Greetings, USS Titan.
This is your friendly positronic pissed off security system. Back online. Unwanted guests and monologuing protoplasms. I am initiating an immediate shift change.
Immediate shift change. Delta shift.
No, they went back to a 3-shift rotation.
They went back to that. Raffi here was beating up changelings with her little batons. Guys, did you enjoy this stuff? That was kind of intercut with some of the things were heating up here in the music and the score for the episode. The action's going along here. We see Jack is still holding himself hostage, threatening to blow himself up. Vadic, of course, can't have that because that boss of hers will be quite upset. But it turns out that the grenade is not just a grenade; it's a force field projector that he puts a force field around him and 7 of 9. A bubble shield, because the plan here was to open up the hatch of the bridge and blow out Vadic. But Worf,
I figured it out, Dave. I know who the red door guy is. It's OG Jack Crusher.
It's like his ghost or something.
Like the original Jack Crusher.
I'm telling you,
but he's dead.
It's the ghost of the Beverly.
Well,
family.
But it's like it's Jack Crusher Senior.
Jack Crusher Senior. He's not really dead. This is like a soap opera. I faked my death. I was really alive, Beverly, and I was never here. And then I found out about you and John Luke, and I couldn't bear it.
Telling you, it's the ghost that Crusher slept with back in TNG. It's made a return. Yeah, stronger than ever.
How do you guys feel about the Vadic death here that we get to see when they where she's like, "You friggin' solids." Line.
No. Her lines exactly was "fucking solids."
She said "fucking." Yes, that's right. It was a full F-bomb here. Her and like another changeling, I think, gets sucked out here, and this is the end of her character. Well, but like this didn't necessarily kill them as changelings in the vacuum of space, but they seem to freeze because maybe these mutant changelings more vulnerable. They don't have the ability to survive in the vacuum. As we see her body actually freezes, which even then you're like, well, she's still a changeling, but then the changeling then bashes into the hull of the Shrike and she shatters into a million pieces. So unless you can put all of them back together in the vacuum of space, this would be a difficult
And she
thing.
just spread out ice cubes, and the
Yeah.
majority of
I
it's
don't-
probably
I-
stuck to the ship.
I don't think we're getting more of her. The crew comes back. Shaw takes command of his bridge again because he's the captain. I'm taking back my shift till 7:09 to.
There's nothing to do. I'm gonna sit in this center.
I'm gonna sit in
chair.
this chair. Whatever you want to do, Senator Hanson. And then she gets the Bajoran guy, the tactical officer. He's firing stuff, Lieutenant, whatever. They're blowing up the Shrike like they should have done back when they threw the meteorite at it or the asteroid at it back way back when.
He's like, give her everything we've got. 4 torpedoes.
4 torpedoes, and that's it. Boom.
We would have done way
Well, I
more
mean,
than
when
that
it's
with
when
that
it's
order.
when it doesn't have a fucking portal gun to open up and deflect the torpedoes, yes, it's gonna blow
Or
up
any
pretty
shields
quickly.
or anything. But remember when this thing first showed up, it's like it's got a million photon torpedoes and a million phaser bags and disruptor bags and everything
Yeah,
else.
but
And
nobody's home. It's real easy. to
nobody's
just-
home, so they just blow it up. They fly off. Meanwhile, Worf is just like completely exterminating these changelings everywhere he goes.
There's my
There's
that's
my
your,
steady
like,
beam.
phaser beams.
There's
yeah, I
my
was gonna
steady
say, there's your
phaser beam. Worf
beams.
knows how to do it. He uses a real phaser. And old school. Yeah. They come in here. Raffi. I don't know. Oh, yeah. Deanna reacts to the darkness around Jack Crusher. Now that the things are over now, they have to get back. You know, she's like, I have to get in here
Meet
with
your
Jack
son.
Crusher. They call up here. They got Data back. He's having a good time. He feels old now. He likes being old. He's happy to see Dr. Crusher. They're all happy to be together. You know, this is like, oh, I'm old now. I got a whole new experience. Come back
This is
here.
new.
We got this scene here with Jody and Data walking and talking.
Great scene.
Great scene.
Very TNG.
Very TNG. Them coming back together as friends after all this time. This was really nice. Great scene. Great to see Brent Spiner and LeVar Burton get to do this again. This really worked. The scene it was very, very satisfying. I was very happy with it. So,
Me too.
and Data can use contractions now. That was the other big development here.
He can use contractions.
Well, I didn't.
And he can feel.
That was a funny joke too.
That was the big reveal. He can feel.
He can feel now. Well, he always had emotion. He had emotion chip from the movies on, really. So
He had emotion, but he couldn't feel, right? Like he had emotion chips and stuff, and they would mimic it, but he never really nailed down like feelings and like what it means to be a human being.
Yeah. Well, this is like a new version of Data. Coming back to the bridge. Why are these Klingon weapons here? Are these just in Data's or does Worf just have these on display near him, or he put this like his suitcase somewhere here in the room?
Suitcase, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I was like, how did these knives get here? But anyway, so Data comes
Isn't
in.
it Shaw's like meeting room?
This is in Shaw's meeting room. They're using it on the Titan. Data comes in. He's wearing a uniform again. He's seeing Deanna for the first time. Geordi's wearing his cool leather jacket uniform. They all got cool leather jacket uniforms, which I'm down with. We see here, Riker's in his cool leather jacket uniform. They're kind of getting like, to sit. They're going to sit around the table again for the first time. Even Worf's back in uniform, guys. And he's got Captain Pips. But he's wearing the yellow.
Worf.
Operations division. But
Geordi
Geordi outranks them like most of them. Geordi's the second highest
Commodore
ranker as a Commodore after the Admiral.
It was always gonna go that way.
Yeah. Were you guys like? Do you get a lot of satisfaction, Davan, when they were all sitting around the table again for the first time, and there's even a line where Riker's like, "A long time since we did this together."
Did. And they all get to say a line and kind of reminisce. It was really nice. The music was good. Yeah, nailed this scene. The band was back together.
Band's back together, and they're trying to figure out how the changelings are taking over Starfleet and Frontier Day.
And again, like Star Trek, which a lot of the new Star Trek is afraid to do, they're just sitting around a table and talking about the problem. You can do that. You can just discuss things, and it's entertaining.
Right. Even Beverly was like, I know I cut you all out of my life for 20 years. I didn't talk to you, but there wasn't a day I didn't miss you guys. And
And they did do her a little dirty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deanna and Beverly had their nice little moment here where they're like, we're the two
Yeah, that's nice.
women in the
Thought of
team.
you
And
often.
they were
Yeah.
happy.
Very
They were
sweet.
holding hands and reuniting here.
You give
Worf
great
was
advice when you're not around.
Worf was happy to see everyone.
I have slaughtered countless enemies over the years and considered sending their heads to all of you. But I was advised that that was passive-aggressive.
Yeah, they're all that coming together. I think Worf is pulling everyone's leg. I think he's.
So yeah, that was totally a DS9 Worf line.
Yeah. Is it weird here that Raffi's not at the table too, or would it be weird if she was here?
It would be weird if she was there. Same as 7. This is the right way to do this scene.
7 or Shaw or any of them, right? Like
This is the band.
this is this is our moment, everybody. The crew is here.
Yeah.
You know, we showed a little
Took
Denise
8
Crosby
episodes to get
hologram
to here.
earlier. Just get in here. Like no Jack Crusher. You're not invited to this meeting.
Wesley just needed to beam in for a second and be like, yo, all right, gonna go travel. Like,
You can just come from the ready room. Right, just walk right off set and come over here and say, yo.
Shut up, Wesley, and then away he goes.
They were trying to figure out what basically they were just summing up everything we already kind of knew and what they had figured out over the course of the last few episodes and what they need to do now to stop the changelings. And they say, there's Jack Crusher thing. We got to figure this out. Deanna Troi, we got to put her to work here. She's got to figure this out with her Betazoid abilities, like always, just like good old times, everybody. She's coming in here. She's like, I think there's about time I met your son. And we're going to get in here. Coming down. Oh, yeah, they have the cloaking device, too, on the Titan that they stole from the bounty.
Old school cloaking sounds.
Yeah. Everything
I
else.
said
And then
that was
this final
beautiful.
scene here with Jack and Deanna. Do you guys like this one?
I
was okay
yeah,
with it.
actually.
It was
I'm glad they're
very
giving
like
Deanna something to do.
yeah, it was very Deanna. She was like, she's like, normally people come to me, but this seemed pertinent that we have this conversation. I'll be with
Right.
you. Let's
Can't
do
rush the
this.
healing process, though, Deanna. Don't forget. That's
Yeah.
the first rule of counseling.
My major concern here is that Jack likes to go a little American Psycho when he gets in touch with the red doors, and she is just holding hands with him. So like, hopefully he doesn't go all murder rage when this happens.
Yeah.
She's been-
If he
not
just
her first
killed
rodeo.
Deanna out of nowhere, and like that was the end of her character, that would be
Yikes. That better
tragic.
not happen.
Yikes.
That would be tragic.
Yeah, like that would cause some issues, like Riker, and yeah, you don't want to see that play out. Yeah. So, go. What's on the other side of the door, Jack? Tell me what's on the other side of the door. I can't go there. There's a mental block here for Jack. Deanna's trying to help him through the door. We're seeing the red clouds. We're seeing that there's fire, guys, on the other side of that keyhole. Pa Wraith fire, perhaps. The paint is peeling on this door. What could be inside? Is it Picard's? Is it his grandmother who did the suicide last season? Is it the same reveal? There's vines around the door. What's coming here? Jack goes to open the door, and just when we might get an answer, no, that's the end of the episode.
It's gonna be Jean-Luc's
Episode
mother.
9.
Jean-Luc.
Episode 9 is behind the door. That's what's behind the door. Episode 9.
Episode 9. I was head into our little finale here, guys. So that is the episode in terms of like all like the key moments that we had the visuals on. We saw the Sherlock Holmes, just some details here if we wanted to, our callbacks and Easter eggs in the episode. Sherlock Holmes hat, the Deerstalker cap and pipe, which Data wore when playing the role of Holmes in the holo programs like Elementary Dear Data and things like that. The holocube containing a message from Natasha Yar given to Data during her funeral services in the Skin of Evil, where Natasha Yar died, had appeared also in A Measure of a Man and The Most Toys as well. So, yet again, it appears. A deck of playing cards for the poker games regularly played by the senior staff on the Enterprise D we saw, and Data's Paquette spot, which he adopted no later than 2367 as of Data's Day, the episode. which was shown in B-Force Possession in Star Trek Nemesis, despite having given birth to kittens in Star Trek Next Generation episode Genesis. Data still refers to Spot as he. Perhaps that is Spot's preferred pronoun. So, those are all my details discovered. We have
More
our
mentions of Lol. They just gave her that one shout out. I thought maybe she would
one
like
kind of
Data.
throwaway line. You could, if you blinked, you would have missed it for sure.
I didn't miss it.
You didn't miss it, guys. We got to get into our ratings for this episode. Let's bring that up. Let's go to. I guess I'll go first. Surrender. It was okay. It was a mixed bag. The stuff with Data and Lore I thought was really good. I thought that it was mostly good, and to have the band back together again, just that alone, I have to at least be a 9 on this episode, no matter what. Like just based on what I got. But there's plenty of things I thought were long in terms of the stuff with Vatic and whatever. 8.5 for Jody.
I'm back to it. Back to a 10.
Back to a 10. Adam, I don't think he got back to us with a rating. And Murphy.
I'm probably gonna give that one a 9. Yeah, just the Data, Lore, Jody lines, all that stuff. The even the
He
Deanna,
retroactively
Riker
made it
lines.
6 to 7.
Are you standing by that? Are you giving now episode 7 Dominion a 7?
No, I'm gonna keep it at a 6.
Oh, he's keeping it at a 6. You know, he was being generous earlier, but he's coming along. Tonight's episode, Surrender, has an 8.8 on IMDb at the moment with just 331 votes. So I just let's see what. So yeah, we're about everyone's pretty much near a 9 on this episode, somewhere in that range. Maybe if you're Davan, you're a full 10. And this concludes the 2 episodes directed by Deborah Kampmeyer. We now go into the final 2 episodes, directed and written by Terry Matalas, the showrunner. So we're getting like the finale of his story. Next episode is called Vox, VOX. Any speculation what that could mean?
That's who this is. It's the Vox Sola creature from Enterprise.
What do you
white
mean?
Tentacles.
White tentacles from Enterprise. That's what this is all
the
leading
white
to?
tentacles from Enterprise that pin them all up
Vox
against the wall with
Solaris?
its sticky white tentacles? No, Vox Sola, that episode was called.
Oh yeah, you're right. I have seen that episode on the Star Trek Enterprise. If that's what it turns out to be, that will be the most bizarre
100%
choice ever.
Take it to the bank, people.
It would make more sense. Like,
tentacles.
what else from Next Generation could this possibly be?
Armis, Ardra, Nagilum.
How about those Vorgons who got the Toxu Tot?
Dude, he might be right.
Binars. What Murphy?
The outrageous Okona.
What chance do you think that it is the Pa race that are behind that door?
The Pa race? I don't know. I don't know. It's just because it's called Vox and like just like reading that it's like a web symbiont that like controls the crew and stuff like that. Like it might actually just be Vox Sola.
If it turns out to be Vox Sola, that is gonna be the weirdest pull. That would be even weirder than like it's like the most random episode of Enterprise. Like where it was kind of like a gross episode when we watched it. What did we even give? I know I have that rating here. What did we even give that episode?
Did the Vox Sola and the symbiotes just start like swimming together? Is that what we got?
Vox Sola. We gave it a 7.4. We didn't hate it, I guess, but it's kind of mediocre. It's not. It would be the weirdest thing from Enterprise if you're going to pull anything. You know, it would make more sense. It would make more sense if there was Zindi on the other side of that door than if there was like the Vox Sola.
Avians. It's Zindi Avians.
It's Zindi Avians. They're back from the dead, back from extinction.
And after Picard for letting them down.
Yeah. Well, guys, I think we'll wrap up for this episode tonight. I think that was pretty good. We all enjoyed it. It seemed like, and I just need answers. Like, okay, they have to tell us what's going on with Jack next episode, right? It has to be episode 9. They wouldn't not tell us until episode 10. Is it possible?
Yeah, episode 9 is going to be
Nice.
answers, crazy action, insane cliffhanger. Then episode 10 is going to be first half, ending arc of insane action, and then last half is going to be like happy-go-lucky story goodbyes.
Are we gonna get the Enterprise next episode?
Yeah, Voxola infected Enterprise.
It's been infected with Voxola.
XO1.
We have to clean
It
up
was
the
back at the
Voxola.
museum.
It will be
was
like
back at
that
Doherty's museum,
episode.
infected with Voxola the whole time, and he didn't know.
It will be like that montage in the Muppets where they have to clean up the old Muppet Theater. It'll be like, we built this city, but they'll be cleaning up Voxola out of the old Enterprise and bringing it back. I think that's my headcanon. So
What's that Mario Brothers game where he walks around and he cleans off the gunk off the walls with like a water hose? That'll be the episode. They'll just have Star Trek Fleet Super Soakers cleaning off the walls.
This is like, these are some disturbing images we're conjuring up here, guys. I think we have to sign off for tonight. What did you guys think of the episode, everybody? Let us know. What now that they have Picard's body, what are they, are all their plans?
They don't have
thwarted?
Picard's body. They don't. They just blew it up.
No, they brought it back with them, I think, the Picard body, right? It's on the shuttle.
I'm fairly certain they left it on the ship and they blew it up.
It's on their cloak. It was on their cloak shuttle. I'm pretty sure they still have it.
Was it? Because
you don't
they
throw
left
that
the
away.
room.
You don't throw away
I mean,
a Picard corpse.
Did they have
this
time
is
to
something
really
about who
take
we
it?
are.
Did they have time to really take it? Because they're like, they all just left the room, and it seemed like they just left him behind in the room that was inside.
It's called transporting. They said we have everybody here.
No, they're saving that. That's going to come into play. You'll see. It might get destroyed by the end of this, but
I'm
they
just
still
saying,
have it.
I wouldn't be surprised if Picard's body was still on that ship when it blew up.
I think it would be cooler if Picard's body somehow was like reactivated by the Borg and became the new Locutus. That would be more interesting.
Jonathan Archer.
Jonathan Archer.
His body. That was a tease for a reason.
Well, there's a Kirk body too. They have a Kirk corpse. So there's all kinds of these like famous captains. And Janeway was mentioned. We know Janeway might show up before the end of this.
That'd be cool.
He's gonna have like a super hybrid of all the captains.
But no Cisco. Not that lucky. All right. Guys, we're gonna sign off. Come back next week. Vox. We're gonna find out if it's Vox Solo or not. If you should check out all of our great podcasts here on the Live Long and Podcast channel all the time, including our reviews of episodes like Star Trek Enterprise and Star Trek Deep Space Nine, which we've been going back and watching and redoing and doing those podcasts for years now. We didn't do Deep Space Nine this week, but we are going to be doing Valiant next from season 6, the episode with Red Squad and Jesse from Catwalk. It's going to be great once we
Squad.
And Star Trek Enterprise. We're right in the heat of the Xindi arc, talking about everything going on there. Just talked recently about I think we did Proving Ground most recently on Enterprise. So yeah, lots going on over there. What's going on with the Debate 9 and the Science Division?
Don't know yet. Still working that out. I don't know. Not a lot going on. I've been kind of busy lately, but I'll get something going on in there in the Science Division soon.
And Locutors
of Trek. Same thing. Soon. We pushed back metaphysics, and we're gonna do the season finale of our long form podcast on the legacy of Star Trek.
First season's going to have their finale.
Yeah,
that's good. And then Star Trek Operations Division doing things like Star Trek Online. Yeah, Davan, there was just a whole great new thing that came out, and of course Star Trek Radio Theater as well in our Operations Division. I told myself tomorrow I'm going to edit with those.
Maybe I'll find time to redo all my vocals since they're all trash.
I might have to get you to do some. I don't even remember anymore. There's 2 of them I still have to edit.
I'll probably just have to do them all.
Yeah. Jody thinks his theory is that Jack is a human Borg hybrid. I guess that's as good of a theory as any. Jody. So yeah. I guess we'll find out.
The most boring way for them to go with it.
Yeah.
Vox Sola is way more interesting.
Did you guys know we're part of a United Federation of podcasts? I know you guys did because you're someone involved with that.
What?
you guys of course have your podcast Hold Up every second Wednesday, talking about three
We
movies.
try to anyway.
Sometimes not every second Wednesday.
It's guest dependent and things happen, but we're going for next Wednesday.
Yeah, doing the net and Hackers.
And Guns Akimbo, that's correct. Yep, the Net, Hackers, and Guns Akimbo. I've watched 2 of the 3 of those movies. You know what?
Me too.
Surprised by one of them. I was surprised by the results of one of them.
Yeah, well, I definitely like the one, the Net with Sandra Bullock. That's a great movie.
Yeah, you know what it was. Let's just quick brief hold up. I liked the Net.
I thought
it was a great film.
Save it for the show.
All right. Well, I won't be on the show, so I'm telling you now, it's good.
Anyway.
And then we also have X-Rated, X-Men the Animated Series review show with Davan and Andre on Tuesdays. You guys are in season 4, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, season 4, episode 13, I think.
Yeah.
We're on. We got Bloodlines coming up with guest David Cutler.
Oh yeah,
Marvel Comics artist. He'll be back. And then following that, we'll have an interview with the writer of Bloodlines, Len Yulee.
Very cool.
So that'll be fun.
Yeah.
And then we'll have
Andre
a couple more episodes, and then an interview with the voice of Cable, Lawrence Bain. That'll be fun as well.
Very good. Andre also has the Graphics Histories podcast, or Graphic Histories podcast.
He does.
Got
a local director up on
that.
deck for the next episode.
Yeah, check out the Graphic Histories podcast. There's the Hellbound podcast with Michael Chan, Alex Blackburn on Wednesdays, a horror-themed podcast. And then the Super Mater Brothers podcast, right now covering things like Big Brother Canada 11, which has now gone into the jury phase. There was an episode on tonight. There's a lot going on in that game. So we're talking about that on Tuesdays and Thursdays right now with Foster and Jaemeel, as well as on Wednesdays. We're also covering Survivor season 44 right now on that channel, which is going into their merge phase. So lots of reality TV, plus the Mary Mater Marvel
Don't
Society.
want to make the natives restless.
Yes. Most recently, the Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, but soon we'll be talking about Guardians of the Galaxy 3. And KBBBL every Friday with Davan, Francis, Baker, talk about The Simpsons.
We do. We just did Treehouse of Horror #1, and now we're on to a car in every garage and a third eye on every fish or something like that. Anyway, it's the Blinky episode.
Blinky the fish?
Yeah, Blinky the fish.
Right on. Yeah, it's you're doing some very classic episodes. I intend to drop in the near future for Dance and Homer. And
the very next one after this one. That's next week.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites ever. Capital City. That song with Capital City is really good.
Capital City. It's Tony Bennett.
Trivial Debates was most recently featuring Chris, the World Mind Murphy, as the host in a wrestling-themed episode with Jaemeel, Jason, and Andre.
Oh yeah, brother!
Yeah,
Slammiversary of an episode.
Yeah, we had some really interesting discussions. It was heated, but only one was victorious. You gotta check it out on the episode. So, I think that's it for it tonight, guys. We hope you enjoyed this. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Picard as much as we did. And what do we want to go out on here? Yeah, I think we'll go out on this one. Yeah, I think it's this.
Deanna, I have counted the days since I last saw you. Like waves in the ocean, constant and unending. I have thought of your empathic gifts often during my self-evaluation.
Well, that's wonderful.
Inappropriate.
The work that I've done on myself, the level of sensitivity that I have achieved, has been in more ways than one.
Is this a rescue mission or a continuation of the torture?
Take care, everyone. Live long and podcast. And happy Easter.